Alright, I'm ready to talk about my experience with the Redragon M996 here. I've yeeted the box already. I assure you there's nothing exceptional about the unboxing experience. It's literally just the mouse, a cable, and a couple of instruction manuals. I've already made some modifications to mine because there is some slight garbage to it. The mouse skates, already tore them off here. They are the thinnest mouse skates I've ever seen. They are scratchy. There are concessions in this $30 mouse. That was one of the ones I changed right off the bat. So talking a little bit about the mouse, it is a $23 to $30 mouse, depending on where you get it. You get it $23 on AliExpress, $30 for Amazon. They had a coupon last I checked, and I will put those in the description. So I have my HTS Plus 4K. This is my current mouse here. Very similar in terms of specs. It is 4K though. It is wireless as opposed to this wired mouse. I like the shape and the feel of this mouse in particular. I know G-Wolfs isn't exactly the king of quality control from grenading mice that we've seen before, but I love the shape, I love the feel of it, so I've been using this for quite some time. And we will do some brief comparisons because this is a $150 mouse, so you have to ask yourself, is this mouse 5 times better? Is wireless 5 times better? And obviously that's subjective to you and what you expect at that price point. My copy here, I'm just going to start off with the weight. This is a 42 gram mouse, and I have my scale here. Thank you, United States Postal Service. This mouse is supposed to be 46 plus or minus 2 grams. I know I have a shit ton of hair in here because I have a dog, and the magnet, or not the magnet, the battery adhesive, it collects a lot of hair, so it should be 46 plus or minus 2. It's a 51. My dog has pretty much lived inside of this mouse, apparently, and that's why it's so heavy. Advertised at 42 grams. Is 42 grams. It was 42 grams with the original mouse skates. I've swapped it for these, and I've taken off the sticker. That did not affect the weight. It was 42 beforehand anyway, so it passes that test. It is an 8K mouse. I went ahead and tested it. It does pull at 8K hertz. It is very consistent in that. I have gone through the software. It is not the greatest software I've ever seen. My biggest complaint is that there's no adjustment for the debounce setting, and while my mouse does not double click, I have a feeling it is not on the lowest possible debounce setting it could be on, and that is a little bit of a concern. I wish that at least was an option in the software to tweak after the fact. Oddly enough, when you get this out of the box, it is set to 1K hertz polling, and I'm not sure why that is, but you do need to go in the software and change it to 8K manually in order to do that. I have cracked open this mouse, and I have verified the switches. A lot of people have speculated what it is. They are, for the main clicks, the left and right click, they are Huano Blue Shell Blue Dot, not the pink dot, interestingly enough. The feel of them, a little bit on the heavier side, but still very spammable, still pretty light relatively. The side buttons, as well as the DPI button, are a Huano as well, but they are a black shell white dot. And also a little bit heavier, but still light enough to actuate easily. So we'll start talking about a couple of things here. So I will try and overlay a screenshot or whatever, but essentially the shape on this, it's actually pretty comparable to the Tens unreleased secret mouse. So interestingly enough, if that is a mouse you're interested in, and since it does not exist and they're already trying to sell it at one point, you can at least try this out for the shape and see if for $30 if it is going to be for you. Maybe Ten's retired to show this mouse secretly, and he's going to get rich because it only costs him 30 bucks to make them. Well, not even really, right? They're selling them for 30 bucks. But overall, the mouse wheel, very smooth. I didn't have any missed inputs or any issues like that. The clicks on it are pretty light. It also uses the black shell white dot. The balance on it is a little bit front heavy. You could tell that because this was designed initially as a wireless mouse, the battery in the rear portion of it was probably designed to offset that front weight. But I also think that this is a modder's dream mouse, honestly, because you've seen a lot of people go for Razer internals since they are top of the line. This is a Nordic 3395, yes, that's correct. There's actually a little bit of, I guess it's not necessarily misinformation, but on Redragon's own website, there is a portion of it that says that this mouse has a 3327. That is incorrect. It's a typo, so you can disregard it. The QC on it, honestly, before I opened it, it was better. So I don't know if I like missed a clip inside of it, or perhaps I tightened it a little bit more or less than it should be. But when I first got it, shaking, not really any sound, squeezing, no popping, no creaking. There is definitely like a little bit of something when I pinch it now, and it's not like a pop, but it's almost like, how to explain it. I think my spudger, the tool that I use to scrape and pry open the mouse, I think I actually took off the littlest bit of plastic, but that was enough to make it have a sound. But I'm not going to hold that against the mouse because I did it myself. I opened it to see what was inside and confirm everything, and I'm not going to hold that against Redragon. I don't think they've intended to have you open and close this over and over. I took off the sticker as well, but I kind of wish that the bottom was flat. You can tell that it does have a indent for the mouse gates, and I wish they had just done a completely flat bottom. It would have given you a little bit more options as to what you could put on here, and I don't think it really costs them a lot to change that feature or design of the mouse. The only other thing that I think I have to address about this is in terms of modability, or if you're looking at 3D printing mice, the design and shape of this PCB, because the side buttons are on a separate PCB that just has a JCT connector on it, you could so easily mod this mouse, and for $30, I don't think you're going to be able to find much better and much more easily accessible specs that could be, you know, Amazon next day shipped to you. If you are trying to 3D print a mouse or trying to implement the internals into a different shape, I think this is going to be pretty easy to work with in terms of how well that PCB is designed, how compact it is. My only major gripe about this mouse, honestly, is the included cable that comes with it. It is one of the most rigid cables I've ever seen in my life. The fantastic news is it uses a USB Type-C, so that means you could simply plug it in and use any compatible USB-C cable. I do know that some of my cables did not work well with this, and there might be some kind of data threshold, much like my Wooting keyboard isn't happy with every USB-C cable that I use on it. I think you need to determine which one will work, but I would use anything except what is included because of its rigidity. I've had this out of the box for quite a while. I have it on a bungee, and these kinks have not come out of the cable. So I wish they had spent more time on it. I'm imagining that because this was initially designed as a wireless mouse, they probably just got whatever was cheap and functioned, and they happened to recycle it for this mouse, which I could kind of understand. And again, at the $30 price point, you are going to have some concessions. I think I've addressed just about everything about this. I've had no issues with the tracking. I've had no issues with double clicking. It's got a little DPI button on the bottom of it. The software, again, you could customize most everything, lift off distance, the clicks. My only like minor complaint is I actually like binding my DPI button to play pause for Spotify. I know it's stupid. I wish you could do it because I don't use the DPI button. I keep it set on one DPI, and I honestly think it's kind of funny picking up your mouse and playing and pausing a song like it's a remote, but again, probably not something that most people do. Compared to my HTS Plus 4K, I've been using this a lot lately. I've been setting some high records on AimLabs or Kovacs, AMBs, whatever the heck you use. I have been getting some high scores on this, and I don't know if it is a 8K copium kind of thing where I think I'm better with it. I don't know if the shape is better suited to my hand, because generally I prefer a shorter mouse. This is a little bit longer than my HTS 4K, but it's been working for me. And one of the other things I'm just gonna give a shout out about, and I haven't seen this on a lot of mice, but the front button for the side button has like this texture to it, and the back is smooth. And the placement of it is so ideal for me because it literally hits right where my thumb contacts the mouse. So it's kind of brilliant that I can very easily determine if it's the front one with the texture or the back one when it's smooth. And I don't have to move my mouse, or not move my mouse, but move my hand at all when using it. And that is very ideal for me in games where you do use the side buttons, or just for general web browsing. It's nice to have. So overall, for $30, I think that this mouse is absolutely insane value. I think the best comparison to it, at least in some aspects, is the OP1 8K. Obviously, it's a wildly different mouse. It's a manufacturer with a significantly better history and build quality. But even for the most comparable mouse, you're still looking at spending almost $50 more to get that. Where with this, you can have two copies, and not that you need them, but it's just you get so much insane value on this mouse that I'm kind of in awe. And I think at this point in the mouse game, it might just be a race to the bottom to see who can get us more of these accessible $30 mice. And I'm honestly going to be using this at least until the Frosted Purple OP1 AK comes out. I think that one might be a little bit more my jam, but I'm going to be maining this mouse for now. And to be saying that about a Redragon product that costs $30 is a little bit insane. I'm surprised I'm even saying it. Normally I'm a little bit of a brand snob, but I have to recommend it. I'm sorry.